Dave, you scored the early power play goal, but it didn't look like you had any of your normal game in regular season tonight against Chicago. Your overall impressions of your team?
I didn't think we played well enough. Made far too many mistakes and lost too many battles. Simple as that. You can't. If you don't elevate your game going into the playoffs, you're going to be behind, and that's where we were tonight.
Our next question comes from Rob Tichkowski, Edmonton Sun.
Hi, Dave. Yeah, you talk about not winning battles, and some of the players were talking about not being ready. It kind of sounds like it's a mental thing, which is kind of hard to fathom at this stage with everything that's on the line. What do you do to get this team mentally ready for game two?
That was a physical thing. You lose battles, it's a physical thing, right? It's not putting enough into the physical battle. And that's, but we went out. We gave up two outnumbered breaks early. Talked about being a real solid in the first period and go out and give up two outnumbered breaks in the first 2 or 3 minutes. So we just didn't think very well, and we didn't work we didn't elevate our game like we needed to, and it's we have to regroup and make sure we're ready for game two.
Our next question comes from Jason Gregor, TSN 1260.
Dave, can you explain what was your thought process and what ultimately why you decided on Mike Smith to be the starter, and then what went into because you waited until the fifth goal. Were you considering switching your goalies to start the second at all?
First of all, we have confidence in both our guys. We had long discussions about it. We think we'll use both of them in the playoffs. We started the season 5-0. Schmitty started the season. We thought we wanted to start the postseason the same way. We were very confident in that. Schmitty, other than the one that the giveaway that went off his back, he was kind of left on his own out there. And it got to 4-2. Thought we were all right. We give up the fifth one, so I was trying to change momentum.
We'll take a question from Daniel Nugent-Bowman, The Athletic.
Dave, your penalty kill was tremendous all year. It was very good against the Blackhawks, killing off all 8 during the 3 games just this season. What changed tonight? What was the difference for you guys?
It was very similar to the rest of our game. We didn't win enough battles to and execute enough, whether it be face-offs or loose pucks down. They capitalized on chances.
We will now take some questions from Zoom. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. We're going to start with Terry Jones.
Dave, can you, we talked before about how best of 5 series, how large that game 1 is. Now you've got till 8:30 on Monday night. Can you just articulate that circumstance, and what do you have to do?
You have to play better, right? So everybody understood the importance of game 1. We didn't get it. We got to regroup in a day and show up and make sure that we correct some of the errors we had and make sure we're a little more competitive in this next game.
The next question comes from Ryan Rashad.
Dave, it was, as you mentioned, it was clear early with a couple of odd man rushes that maybe things were a little bit jittery in the early going. And I guess it's one thing to start that way, but was it concerning to you that knowing that it was going that way, that you weren't able to turn it sooner? And why do you think, kind of knowing what was happening, your guys weren't able to sort that out sooner and get back into it sooner?
I think a little bit of that is we got on our heels and they were playing well. We took a penalty. Their power play scored. Made the one mistake, and then their power play jumps in and gets them a lead. So you're trying to grab it and get back in the game. But some of the errors we were making with the puck early on, Clef had a couple of them where the early chance we gave up, we just missed a pass, and then we gave another one up to the slot. There's are just things that you have to do. You make sure you have to do things right, and you. Usually the team that makes the most mistakes ends up on the back side of it, and we made more mistakes tonight.
We'll take 2 more questions. The next one comes from Mark Spector.
David, you've been around a long time. You've seen all these things come and go, right? You have a good camp. You play a pretty solid game against Calgary. Talking to you, it sounds like you expected your team was as ready as you could be. And this is as unready as they could possibly look. Any idea how something like that?
to say that we're disappointed the way we started would be an understatement. You know, I think you have to give Chicago some credit. They played well, but some of the errors and just the way we went about things is, it's not playoff, and it's certainly like we were a way better team in the regular season. And you get behind early, you start to cheat, you start to do some things that don't look like a good team, and that's where we were tonight. We just there was too many mistakes made, and then when you're trying to overcompensate it by cheating and get back in the game, you don't look like a very good team, and that's where it was tonight.
Our last question comes from Tracy Myers, NHL.com.
Tip, just wanted to ask you what you thought of Mikko in relief, and also I assume you'll consider both him and Smith for game 2.
We'll talk about where we are with both our goaltenders. I thought Mikko was fine in there.